So in this video, I'm going to be looking at the idea of net present value and why it's actually quite powerful in finance and why it's very useful to actuaries, for example, in their day-to-day work and why this is applied in a variety of different ways, really. First and foremost, what is the idea of net present value? It's a way we can value investments or businesses right now. So at the present time, we want to know what a business or a payment stream is worth today. We need to find the net present value. And the reason why it can be useful is because it can enable companies to actually figure out or deduce whether, buying a business is worth it if the present value of that business is high enough. Or whether they want to purchase a certain investment plan. Is the return they're going to get high enough? And of course, we need to know a given interest rate. So a lot of these calculations will assume an interest rate that is most likely in the future. But yeah, so the idea is we want to figure out what is something worth today. And the number of factors that impact it. So I just mentioned interest rate there, that's one of them. Taxation, so are you going to be charged income tax or capital gains tax on any of these investments that you might be making? And of course, the actual maintenance costs of the asset that you might be buying, so the premiums on an insurance policy, for example, all these things can and do indeed impact the NPV or the net present value. So one way in which we can find out the net present value of a given investment is by discounting the outlays, which are the costs, and the receipts, which are the payments we receive. And we want to discount these back to the present time. And one way we can do this as actuaries in particular is by using annuity functions. And that's a typical way of actually finding the net present value. So on the next slide, I've got a bit of a timeline of outlays and receipts. But you can see here, outlay at time 0, so that would be the price of buying this investment plan is 100,000, and then the receipts, so the money we get in return, as you can see from year 4, it's an increasing annuity of 1,000 each year, and that's a special type of annuity function. But my point, the thing that you need to take from this is that the receipts are positive and the outlays are minus, which is why it's minus 100,000. So this means that we can actually find the net present value of this entire cash flow or stream of payments, for example. And also, if you can see on the receipts at time 15, there's an extra 5,000, and we will need to discount that back to the present day to actually find out what is that worth to us right now. And this within these functions, we're using a special annuity function that is pivotal in actuarial science, which is that A subscript N. So that's hugely important in actuarial science, and that uses the discount factor Vn, which is on the right hand side, and that the discount factor is also known as D. But it's not too important to go into too much detail there, but that's just to let you know that this is a bit of the maths actually behind these calculations and how we do them. And again, net present value is very important in project appraisal. So if you're a business and you're saying, okay, we've got to invest X amount, how much money are we going to be bringing in year by year? So that's sort of like a project appraisal type scenario. So by evaluating the net present value of a project, we can see, okay, is this actually going to be a good return on our investment at a given interest rate? And it's useful because we can find the IRR, which is the internal rate of return. So I won't go into too much detail on that right now, but that's just basically an interest rate at which we do break even. And of course, going back to the very start of this video about what is the yield today, so we can see what is the value of our payment streams today at a given interest rate. And it's useful to value business assets. So if you're a business, an existing business, and you want to look at some of your investments, you could say, okay, what are they worth right now? So you might have bought an asset 5 years ago, but you want to know, well, actually, I want to find out how much it's worth today. You can do a net present value type calculation on that. so it's quite useful. And in terms of if you're going to look to acquire a business, you can see what's the net present value of that business right now if we were to buy it today. So yeah, it's got a variety of functions really. And just a quick little summary. We've sort of looked at what net present value or NPV is, how it can be used by a business, and we've introduced the sort of ideas of the annuity function, the discounted factor, and we've also looked at a little example calculation with that timeline as well. So yeah, that's it. Any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'm happy to answer, and look out for some more videos because I'm going to be producing a few more on actuarial science and maths in general. So thanks for watching. Bye.